Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in 2018, and somehow despite spending an unreasonable amount of my life playing video games, I had never actually played it. Obviously I knew about Red Dead, I knew there were cowboys, I knew everyone loved Arthur Morgan, I knew your horse's balls shrink in the cold because apparently that was a crucial technological breakthrough in 2018. And unfortunately after 8 years on the internet I knew how Arthur's story ends. But I'd never actually experienced any of it myself. So in 2026 I finally played Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time, and after finishing it I can say I understand why most people love this game, but I also understand why some people absolutely cannot get into it. Because Red Dead Redemption 2 is incredible, but for some it's incredibly annoying. And this video does include spoilers by the way, so if you don't want the game spoiled, you should probably click off this video by now. You have been warned. Now this video won't be me going through every single chapter of the story in a strict and boring fashion, but my first couple of hours with Red Dead were not great, but not terrible. The game opens with your gang slowly making their way through a snowstorm after a robbery has gone horribly wrong.
What really went down back there on that boat? We missed you. That's what happened. Come on.
And visually, it still looks ridiculous. This game is 8 years old and there were moments where I genuinely just stopped moving and just looked around. But the opening is slow. You walk through the snow, that rhymes. You ride your horse through the snow, you talk to Dutch, you ride your horse again and someone starts talking about Tahiti. Or, okay, maybe we're not quite at Tahiti just yet, but you get the idea. And I understand what Rockstar was going for. You're supposed to learn who these people are and you're supposed to feel like you're part of this gang instead of being thrown immediately into Cowboy GTA. But when you're starting Red Dead in 2026 after years of hearing, this is one of the greatest games ever made, the first few hours aren't exactly helping the allegations. Not that they are bad, and I think the main reason is because you're not yet emotionally invested in the story of the characters, but eventually you leave the mountains. And that's when the game really started clicking for me.
Okay, let's take a look.
You all right back there?
Does everything look all right?
Well, what's going on?
I broke the goddamn wheel.
All right, let's get it fixed.
You need help?
Once the world opens up, Red Dead becomes a completely different game. Suddenly I'm hunting, I'm robbing people, I'm playing poker, I'm helping random strangers, I'm brushing my horse, I'm feeding my horse, and I'm bonding with my horse. At some point I realized I was spending more time maintaining my relationship with this fictional animal than I do maintaining some of my actual relationships, which is a problem. But this is where Red Dead does something that I don't think many other games manage. It makes wasting time feel like you're not wasting time. Normally when a game tells me, hey, there's a main mission over there, I'm going directly to that mission and I start playing the mission. Pretty simple, works pretty well. But in Red Dead I start riding toward it, and 40 minutes later I'm helping some guy who got bitten by a snake. I've accidentally shot a witness and there's a $75 bounty on my head. And I have absolutely no idea what I was originally trying to do. And somehow that's the game. The random moments aren't distractions from Red Dead Redemption 2, they are arguably the reason the world feels so alive. But the real reason this game works is not just the graphics, it's not just the open world, it's Arthur.
Oh, Arthur.
Let go.
And this was the part I wasn't expecting to hit as hard as it did, because when you first meet Arthur, he's not exactly a good person. He's an outlaw, he beats people, he robs people, he threatens people. And depending on how you play, he may also spend several hours murdering half the population of Valentine. But slowly you start seeing something else. Arthur knows this life is ending.
You're a wanted man, Mr. Morgan.
The world is changing, civilization is closing in.
I was just discussing with Herr Strauss, when the weather breaks, suppose we'll have to keep heading east.
East, into all that. That's civilization.
I know.
And the gang keeps pretending they can somehow escape it, mostly because Dutch keeps promising that he has a plan and all we need is a little faith. And I went into this game already knowing the memes about Dutch, but I was not prepared for just how many times this man basically says, trust me bro, just one more robbery.
We have a plan. Tahiti! Fiji!
Every disaster is apparently one successful job away from being fixed, Blackwater went wrong, one more job. Roads went wrong, and that Sean headshot. Damn, I was not expecting that. And I even liked the poor fella. I should not have done that. But nevertheless, just one more job. Saint Denis went catastrophically wrong. But okay, hear him out. Tahiti. And Arthur keeps following Dutch. Not because Arthur is stupid, but because Dutch is basically his father. That relationship is what makes the second half of the game work, because you're watching Arthur slowly realize that the man he's followed his entire life might not actually know whatever the shit he's doing.
Pay more. Pay now.
Dutch? What are you doing? Jesus. Easy, Dutch.
And it's incredible how you at the same time as Arthur start seeing Dutch more and more as the bad guy, but still with rose-tinted glasses, of course. But the moment everything changes. Then Arthur gets tuberculosis. Like I said, I already knew Arthur died before playing the game. It's probably one of the hardest gaming spoilers to avoid at this point. But knowing that Arthur dies and actually watching him realize that he's dying are two completely different things, because suddenly the entire game changes. Arthur changes, the conversations feel different, the missions feel different, even riding around the world feels different. And what I really liked is that Arthur doesn't suddenly become some perfect hero. He can't undo everything he's done. He knows that. Instead, he starts asking a much smaller question. Can I at least do something good with whatever time I have left? And that's what made the redemption part of Red Dead actually work for me. It's not Arthur saving the world, it's him trying to save a few people from making the same mistakes he did. Especially John. Meanwhile, Dutch is completely losing it.
We need money! You dumb fool! Money! Or we are dead!
Every chapter feels like watching someone insist that the burning building they're standing in is actually part of the plan.
Micah. Gentlemen.
And then there's Micah. I don't think I've ever met a character who looks more obviously untrustworthy. The man looks like Betrayal grew a mustache. And yet Dutch is basically like, Arthur, I don't know, this Micah guy makes some excellent points. Because Micah is a total yes man and backs Dutch up in every single one of the stupid ideas that he has. And watching the gang collapse is probably my favorite and least favorite part of the story, because it's amazing. But it's so sad. And it doesn't happen instantly. People start doubting Dutch, people disappear, people die. Rest in peace Hosea, rest in peace Lenny. I won't do it. Okay, I'll do it.
Lenny! You're all right, boy.
But Dutch gets more and more paranoid, and not just because people are dying, but I actually think that he is more paranoid about people starting to not view him as this perfect strong leader who has the best interest for everybody. Because as you get further along in the story, you get to realize he never really cared about anyone but himself. And I think that he is more scared of losing that image from others and from himself. He doesn't want to lose that self-image. Arthur becomes more openly defined, and by the end, this group that felt almost like a family at the beginning barely exists anymore. And the final straw is when Dutch leaves Arthur to die. You already felt he didn't care, but you had not yet seen it to this extent. From then on, you have nothing left for Dutch. The guy is not the man Arthur thought he was, just a narcissistic dude with money and his own self-interest in mind. Arthur's life has been a total lie, to some extent, which makes Arthur's final decision hit much harder. He knows he's finished. He knows he cannot magically save everybody and himself.
I'm dying, sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I got TB.
So what does he do? He gets John out. And then we get the final ride. Again, I knew what was coming, but Red Dead still got me. Arthur riding back while you hear pieces of conversations from throughout the game, the music, the fact that his breathing is getting worse. Rockstar absolutely knew what they were doing. And after fighting Micah, Arthur gets one final moment. He watches the sunrise and dies. It's quiet, there's no giant heroic victory. Arthur doesn't defeat everyone and ride into the sunset. He just makes sure John gets another chance. And honestly, that's probably the right ending for him. Arthur did terrible things. A completely happy ending wouldn't have felt right. but neither would treating him like he was beyond redemption. So instead he gets to do one genuinely meaningful thing before he dies. And that's enough. And yes, I cried at the ending, shut up. So is it actually that good? After finally playing Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2026, yeah, it's really that good. It's not flawless, the controls can be frustrating, the game doesn't have the best of shooting, plus the shooting can get a little repetitive. And it's not that good because you can watch a horse take a shit in real time, no. It's because this world actually feels like somewhere you've been. I remember Valentine, I remember the camps, I remember riding around with Hosea, I remember hating Micah basically immediately, and by the end I genuinely cared about what happened to these people. That's pretty impressive for a game I started 8 years late. So, was Red Dead Redemption 2 worth finally playing in 2026? Absolutely. Would I recommend it to everyone? Yeah. Is the game for everyone though? No. If you need a game to grab you immediately and you need content stuffed in your face 24/7, then Red Dead might drive you insane. But if you're willing to let it take its time, if you're willing to slow down, then you will know why there's a reason people are still talking about Arthur Morgan 8 years later. And now, annoyingly, I'm one of them. And if you want a video where we dive deeper into Red Dead Redemption 2 and the more intricate, smaller details of the world, characters and gameplay, make sure to like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, see you in the next one.